A woman was stalked over a long period of time, to the point where she even had to move to get some peace. She became fairly famous on TikTok over that period of time, until her stalker caught up with her, that is. Shivani Khobiyaan was a TikTok user from out in India. She was very young, having been born in 1999. She was from a city called Sonipat out in the state of Haryana. She went to school at the Satya Modern High School in Sonipat, but she eventually went on to attend the University of Delhi. Her friends and family called her Shino, which was also the name she used on social media. She was definitely seen as an extrovert, with a lot of people saying that she was a pleasure to be around. She mostly loved traveling and dancing, which she considered to be her passions. She was from a pretty well-off family and followed the Hindu religion. Despite that making it sound like she would come from a very strict and conservative background, she was pretty modern and open-minded. By the time of today's case, she was now 20 years old and had moved back to live with her family in Sonipat. She lived with her father, Vinod, her mother, Geeta, and her sister named Shweta, who she worked with. Shino was not only unmarried, she wasn't dating anyone either. She said that she didn't want to focus on a relationship and instead wanted to focus on building her career. She had hoped to be a successful star in the future. She felt that social media might be a good kickstart to that. She started by uploading her pictures to social media apps like Instagram. People were quickly very attracted to, well, her looks, of course. Eventually she moved past pictures, uploading dance and lip-syncing videos as well. It wasn't until she moved on to TikTok that she attracted a real good following. However, after uploading a good number of videos on there, she ended up gaining a huge fan following and getting a lot of attention. She didn't limit herself to being a social media influencer, though. In 2014, she decided to open up her own beauty parlor, which she called the Touch and Care Salon, out in her hometown. She managed both the parlor and her booming social media career herself. Her sister worked along with her at the salon, though. Within no time, Sheena was hitting a lot of milestones in life that might have taken other people many more years to accomplish. Over time, she amassed about 135,000 followers on TikTok while still working as a makeup artist and a business owner. All seemed well. Well, better than well. It was actually doing pretty great. That was until a certain man came along, a very deranged man. For a while now, a man named Arif Mohammed had been stalking Shino, both in real life and over social media. He, for a while, had been a friend and neighbor of hers. He had wanted to date her, but she turned him down repeatedly. She wasn't interested in him in the slightest. He constantly begged her to go out with him, but she shot him down each and every time. He got a little more crazy each time, though. Eventually, she had to cut all contact with him and stop speaking to him. This only made things worse. Eventually, it got to the point where Shino's family moved away just to get away from this guy. It didn't work, though, as he found her and continued to stalk her regardless. On one fateful day, June 26th of 2020, he hit his limit and went over the edge. After arguing with Shino online for about 15 days straight about his constant advances, Arif went to visit Shino in person at her beauty parlor. Shino called her sister and told her that Arif had showed up and that they had been talking. After further talking and eventually arguing, Arif snapped and murdered Shino by strangling her to death in her own salon. Not knowing what to do, he took her body to the back and hid it inside of a bed box. He then took her phone. For unknown reasons, but likely in order to prevent an investigation for as long as he could, he started pretending to be Shino online on social media. He even posted videos after her death, making it seem as if it was a new addition to her account. Not only that, but he spoke to her family over text as well, telling them that she was alive and well, doing just fine. He kept this going for a full 2 days, making more and more posts and communicating with her friends and family. Her family was worried that she was suddenly missing, but she was, apparently, speaking to them over text and telling them that she was out in Haridwar doing perfectly fine. Shino's sister said that their mother was ill and that she really needed to come home. She got a message back on WhatsApp telling her that she would be home by Tuesday. But then, on Sunday, June 28th of 2020, one of Shino's business partners went to her salon and came inside, only to immediately sense a certain odor. Looking around, this person found Shino's body in a back room inside the bed box. They swiftly called the police. Police came out and found her body, and they also realized that her phone was missing. The strange thing was, though, that a video had been posted only 7 hours before her body was found, even though she was likely to have been deceased for a lot longer than that. Once her family heard about all of this, they immediately knew who the culprit must be. They lodged a complaint against Arif to the police. A senior investigator assured the family that they would soon have the man in cuffs, and soon after, the police found the man and arrested him for Shino's murder. Shino's mother, Gita, confirmed to the police that Arif was indeed the crazy stalker that had been harassing Shino for the last 3 years straight. There was even another point in the past where they had to call the police on him. At that time, the police caught him, beat him up a little, and ordered him to apologize to Shino. Her family felt that this humiliating incident may have been what led to Arif snapping in the end. The news of Shino's death hit the media soon after, and then the internet soon after that. All of her fans were completely shocked to hear about what had happened, to say the least. She had just been posting after all, or so it seemed. People were both shocked and disgusted to find that these posts were not coming from her, but from her killer this whole time. The police performed an autopsy on the body, showing that she did indeed have clear strangulation marks. Shino's family have said that unrequited love, repeated rejections, obsession, and humiliation on the part of Arif is likely what led to this whole horrible incident. Arif was booked into the local jail and charged with the murder of Shivani Khobiyaan. At first, he refused to admit to the reasons behind the murder, but after a while he spilled his guts and opened up to the police about all of his secrets. Arif told the police that he and Shino had been friends for a long time now and that he had desperately wanted to marry her. But she had stopped talking to him for about 2 weeks, so he went out to confront her. He asked her to come have nikah with him, which is an Islamic ceremony where a couple are married under Islamic law rather than state law. She obviously refused. After this refusal, an argument took place, and it's safe to say we can see where this argument ended up. He then admitted that he pretended to be her, alive and well, on social media in order to mislead her family. He was also charged with destruction of evidence because of this under the Prevention of Atrocities Act. The deputy superintendent of the police, Virender Ding, who was investigating this case, came out to tell the public exactly what had happened, saying, "The accused Arif has confessed to the murder. He not only murdered the woman, but also was in conversation with her family throughout the night of her murder. Arif will be presented in the court after undergoing a COVID-19 test. The accused strangulated the woman using a dupatta and stuffed her body in the bed used by Niraj. The murder came to light after Niraj spotted foul smell emitting from the salon. He then found Shivani's body from the box." Sorry, the English in that was a little bit off, but I'm just reading it directly. It seems that, as of the making of this video, Arif Muhammad is still awaiting trial. And as usual, we'll see what happens. Once again, thank you for watching my video. If you found it interesting, please give it a like, it really helps me out in the algorithm, and if you find content like this interesting, feel free to subscribe. I talk about it every single week, sometimes twice a week. If you don't mind, go ahead and follow me on social media. I mean, you know how YouTube is, especially with content like this. If anything ever happened to the channel, that would be the only way you'd hear about it. If you want to support the channel even further, I do have a Patreon account, which I always keep linked down in the description below. There you can get videos early, uncensored, and ad-free, so go ahead and check it out if you feel like it. Speaking of which, shout out to the top patrons: Starfade, Astral, Raven, Entrepreneur, Grack, El Palmieri, Salad, Kevin, AMCMT, Rick of Work in Progress USA, Tang, Sash Johnson, Marianne McCurdy, Buttery Frankus, Wafrans, Jules Latona, Arctic Cat, Alan Damiani, Marsh, Buffazerk, Rensenstein, Kim Peak, Lex Luthor, Lux Alpaca, Charity, Scoochie Main, Jackie, and Mark Barnett. You are wonderful. This has been your host, Kyle. Thank you, and good night.